I hate anime.
Listen, they're gonna have to blur this out, but I just got Volume 3 of Fire in His Fingertips delivered to my front yard. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Clinic. This is going to be your one-stop shop for all things MSI. We're talking about pop-off plays, predictions, spicy tweets, and everything in between. I'm Ovilee, and I'm going to be leading you through all this, but joining me today, of course, I have the one and only Captain Flowers.
What's up?
And, okay, now, they wrote this intro for me to read, but I don't want to read it.
Why do you not want to read it?
This is how I'm supposed to introduce our second guest, okay? Not only is he the one who's going to make sure that this show actually stays on topic and we talk about League of Legends and MSI, but they wanted me to introduce as 2019 MSI champion all the way from EU. And Perkz, 2019 MSI is kind of a sore spot in my heart. So you getting any memories? 2019 MSI?
I mean, yeah. It's been a long time ago, honestly. Like I don't remember it well anymore, you know.
Man,
I remember it.
We try to forget. That's one of those that you just try to scrub your brain if you're from NA. You got the worst thing was because TL beat IG right before that, and that was like one of our coolest, hypest things ever. And then you guys just so bad we weren't allowed to be excited no more.
True. I mean, that was pretty embarrassing, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
I remember the tone difference in being in like the Liquid training facility, watching like the IG games and screaming, going crazy. Everyone's crying. Steve is jumping up and down. And then watching the game against G2 for the finals, silence. Absolute silence. People in corners crying. Like, it was not great. But you know what is great? The fact that all of us are here together doing this show for MSI.
Ovilee, what is on the schedule today?
I'm going to tell you what's on the schedule for today because we actually have a lot of really cool stuff to talk about for this first episode. And because we're only about a week out from MSI, why don't we go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is replay. We're going to go around the room. This is how it's going to work, Flowers. So listen up, okay? Listen up. We're going to go around the room, and each of us are going to share our top favorite moments from the last week, whether it's like a sick play or a funny tweet, copy pasta, literally anything out there. Okay. Flowers, do you want to go first?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to kick this off with obviously the play that everybody was talking about from our big LCS finals weekend. It wasn't from the final itself, but it was from that penultimate match with Evil Geniuses going up against Team Liquid, the Danny pentakill in the Baron pit. It's no longer Jinx from Arcane. It's no longer Powder from Arcane. It's Danny from Arcane. If you tried to put that play in a TV show, if you tried to write a movie about League of Legends and put that play in it, you would get smacked upside the head and told that's too unrealistic. Come on, you got to tone it down a little bit. That was like a once-in-a-lifetime move that he just shows up. And yeah, I know. Like, obviously, there's going to be people in the YouTube comments talking about how it's stupid that Baron regenerates HP. Look, stupid or not, it's in the game.
It's true, it's true.
It happened,
no,
right?
It's true. It happened and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was a high play, yeah.
It was nuts.
Very fair, yeah.
Like, pentakill plus steal Baron into turning around like a game that you had all but lost at that point and then turning around and just sweeping the series. That's nuts. That's my vote every time.
Yeah. For me, I feel like the next most memorable play around Baron was Sven when he was on TSM, just randomly dying as Ezreal. That's like the next
the Skarner
play that I have. The Skarner? Wait, Smith?
Why you gotta do my boy Sven like that?
I said memorable, I didn't say good.
But the Skarner's the one that caught him on that, because that's what it was.
Oh,
yeah, it's Ezreal getting caught by Skarner.
Oh my god. All of these very, very good moments. Very good moments. But Perkz, what about you?
I mean, my favorite moment was like when I made it to finals last time. That was like a year ago. That's supposed to be sad. I'm joking.
Oh no, we're gonna have to swap in some of like the sad violin music in the background, like the melancholy.
I mean, my favorite moment was like when I made it to finals last time. That was like a year ago. I mean, more recently, like, I mean, I would be straight up like lying to you guys if I said that the Danny play wasn't my favorite one. But probably the most favorite one was yeah, the Danny one.
The Danny one's the
Danny-
best, but did you?
But that's
It's such a
mine.
good
That's
one.
mine. I wanted to say if I went first, I would have said that play. So it would be I would be lying if I said some other play, or I would be lying if I said I did know another play. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I literally
really-
just got lucky. I just got lucky and I went
Yeah.
first, so I was able to claim the Danny play. That's all. I had video prio. But did you see though in the so after EG won and they were interviewing him and talking to Danny and JoJo, did you see JoJo talking trash to you guys in EU?
I did, yeah. I
Yeah?
did, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. I really like that kid because he is a Fortniter that actually just won a title. So
Yeah, I
it
know,
is-
right?
like literally like my nephew that's like what 10 years old. He plays a lot of Fortnite. So I'm crazy. It's crazy to think that like that he deserves a trophy in NA. I mean, either that speaks about the competition there in NA, which I think was great, you know, because I actually lost there last year, one split. So I actually just really respect him and his achievements. So he just has to back it up now internationally, right?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun
I-
part, man.
I'm gonna highlight two quick things really fast because we talked about, you know, some of the plays and stuff and some of the trash talking on stage. I love just like scrolling through Twitter and I want to pull up two tweets from players on EG. First we have Vulcan.
Vulcan always has banger tweets. Like no
Yeah,
matter what.
Vulcan?
Vulcan's tweet?
Vulcan is a
I
career
think-
poster, dude.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he
He's
should
so
actually
good.
just be a Twitter manager for somebody, right? That's like really
Right? So I'm gonna read this one. This came out, it looks like yesterday afternoon. He says, "Don't mean to say we're gonna win MSI, but I solo killed Guma Yusi, Faker, and Kyria in one scrim game."
wow. That is actually crazy. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Scrims are going
But
good.
let
Can't
me-
wait for MSI.
JoJo's post right after he won for spring finals, he says, "Going to MSI, you."
All caps.
Ooh.
It's in all caps
All caps.
too. So he's,
all
he's
caps in there.
screaming.
Oof.
They're screaming it from the top of their lungs.
Oof.
Oof, oof, oof.
And-
That's a oof? You think? All right, all right.
Maybe.
All right.
Oof, oof, oof.
Like, okay, real talk for a second. How close do you think it's going to be? Like,
Hmm.
G2 versus
I mean-
EG. You, like
I mean,
obviously.
I would have to go like position by position. I would say that like bot lane is kind of even. Maybe G2 is a bit better. Mid G2 is much better. Jungle is probably the only role I would say EG is better. So throwing some
I'm gonna
shade
put
at the
a
uncles,
pause.
but
Yeah.
I actually just think Inspired is very good. So also happens to be EU player.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're only voting the one NA role with an EU player as the the advantage for NA.
And top actually, if anything, I think top is quite close. I think Impact has had a great split. I watched a lot of NA games, and I think Impact is performing really well. But also Broken Blade did have like the best split of his career probably as well. But thinking that Impact has had better international performances than Broken Blade in the past,
Yeah.
it might go like in, you know, Impact has a lot of experience. He's a world champion after all as well. So I think Impact usually shows up.
Impact, I feel like Impact always gets like a playoff and an international competition buff. Like even in the past, I think back to times when he was on TL, right? And other players would be fumbling and just making some ups, and Impact
Yeah.
would actually be the guy that just keeps them going. Like he is the rock and everybody else can rally around him. Like I actually think that dude is irreplaceable in like a high stakes situation.
So guys, we've already jumped into our next segment, which is going to be hot picks. Let's start talking about, you know,
Okay.
we're a week out from MSI, and we got to know who our top 4 matchups are going to be. You know, we have like G2 versus EG. That's the EU NA talk that we've already started on. We have a couple other regions, but I do want to continue talking about G2 versus EG. But before we do, we were just talking about Impact. Want to share like a fun little fact.
What do you got?
I really want to be on the same flight and in the Uber home as Impact and Reaper because both of them live together. And that finals
Oh, that's gotta be a
match,
cool place to
there
hang
was-
out.
that's got to be such a good, just to like peek over like the little airplane seats and just be like, "Hey guys, You guys sharing a lift home or something? Just see them go in 2 separate directions.
You want to hear the cool behind the scenes I have about Impact from right before we did the opening ceremony for the Team Liquid game, like the semifinal game.
Yeah.
So they're standing back there in the dark, right? Like it's very dark behind the stage. Impact's wearing sunglasses. He doesn't just put them on before he walks out. He's standing in the dark wearing sunglasses, and he's just AFK flossing back and forth lazily. Like, I'm pretty sure the Fortnite shit from the rest of the Zoomers on his team caught up with him, because it's not like he's trying to do it. He's not, like, doing this with a purpose. It's just, like, this is his AFK animation, and that's just what he does. So he was just back there vibing the whole time. Impact is, like, pure, like, fortress mental. Nothing can get to him.
Who is it? Detonation Focus Me versus... Is it Brazil next? Or no? Who's... Oh, Saigon Buffalo, right?
I actually have a very high respect for VCS because I have lost plenty of games to them in the past.
Dude,
like probably at every tournament, at least one game. So I was gonna talk about them. That I'm actually that's T1's group, right?
Let me check.
Pretty sure that's T1's group. And I think that is actually like, and I don't know, not even like a super easy group for T1. Like, honestly, it would have been really hype if like Vietnam or Japan was in the group with EG and G2. That would be actually a banger group. Like I would actually like watch every single game. Even though I did lose to OC as well. I mean, I lost to everybody.
We lost to OC too.
It's not even an achievement. Like I lost to everybody at this point. I would think the group would be more hype if there was actually like VCS or DFM there.
Now I'm just gonna pop in here and say I'm happy with this draw because I just want to see the LCS get out of groups and make it to the next stage. But that's just me.
No, dude, I want NA versus EU games. That's why this is hype, because we're in the same
I know, this is hype.
stage.
This is hype. Keep Japan out of it. I want to see Japan and Detonation Focus Me. I want to see them pull like, a Zeta run or something. I want to see them just like skyrocket to the top, and we can't have both them and NA and EU all escaping. So, just...
Okay, so you're happy with how this
Come on,
worked out.
Japan! Let's move on to the other groups though, because we do have Red Candids versus I think like
Red
the
Canids,
CCL
man.
Candids?
Canids.
Canid? What's a Canid?
Red Canids.
Canid isn't a word.
Yeah, that's
definitely
I'm
not like
Googling it
candidates.
right
Yeah,
now.
not red candidates.
a canid is a type
it's a
of
fox.
It's a dog creature. Yeah, it's like one of those. You know how kingdom, phylum,
It's a
order,
dog
family,
creature?
genus, species, like that kind of stuff in biology? A canid is like a type of dog fox critter thing.
Can we graphics production team? Let's throw up a picture of a candy.
The
Candy.
the candies, the red candies.
The candies.
You
Well,
realize
yeah, production right here?
this is the Brazilian
This is-
representative,
this is
and you know
really-
what
this
Brazil
is
fans
really
are like,
not
right?
good,
Like,
guys.
Yeah,
you are going to
this
get a
is the
lot of
thing.
angry DMs for this video.
Not angry DMs. I've got nothing but respect, and I want Red Canid's swag right now. I want it. I apologize that I couldn't say the name right, but I'm here to rep the team. Send me swag. All I have is an anime shirt on right now.
What? We don't need to see the anime.
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't
god.
Know.
This
Yeah.
Okay, so Perkz,
Okay.
what's your opinion on this first matchup?
Wait, which matchup? You didn't propose him a matchup. You just said Red Cannon's wrong.
You
I
just said
said
You
red.
just called the Brazilian team the
Oh,
wrong
you just said
name,
Red
and
Canids. Yeah.
I
you
said
did
Red
say the
versus
matchup.
the Istanbul Wildcats, which is the Brazilian league versus the Turkish league, yeah?
Okay,
TCL.
so if Kane is a sort of a dog, right? And they're playing against the Wildcats, then I assume the dogs will be stronger than the cats.
the dog wins because the dog beats
that's
the
like
cat.
yeah, exactly. It's like a historic matchup. It wins usually. So I think
Okay.
probably actually Brazil wins the matchup. Yeah.
Dude, I second that.
You're
All of
based
my
off the same
analytical
logic. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, like
Okay.
the hamsters running in my brain right now can confirm dog beat cat.
So Brazil and Turkey have had like a long-standing rivalry between like as emerging regions at international competitions, right? Like they've been rivals at these things for a long time. And if the stats are correct here, because I've got the prep doc that they gave us for this show on my other monitor, apparently it's a really close rival. Like their rivalry is actually closer than ours and Europe's, because it's 14 versus 16, and Brazil is slightly ahead. So you guys' dog-cat theory is actually accurate right now, but if Istanbul Wildcats can step up, they could tie it up.
Okay.
So what you're saying is we might see Cats versus Dogs 3, the movie? Before we go, what do we think are the top 3 things that we should take note of going into day 1 of MSI? I think we're starting off with Groups A and Group C. So what do we need to keep our eyes peeled for?
NAEU! That's what we need to keep our eyes peeled for. Group C is NA and EU. That's
is NAEU the game? I mean, on day 1, like I assume it is because it's NA versus EU.
It better.
So
be.
It has to be.
I'm looking at the schedule right now.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's
Tuesday,
the 4th game. It's the it's the 4th game. It's 4 a.m. our time.
Oh, nice. So it's actually human time for me, right?
yeah. You got like
Yeah.
Berlin is like 9 hours ahead of us or something.
Yeah.
So you guys actually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's like perfect.
I'm gonna be eating my lunch and watching EU versus NA.
And I get to get up at before the sun comes up if I want to watch it live. That's so true.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there is some beauty of seeing the sun come up, though.
That is true. You can just enjoy like the natural beauty of the sunrise and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can just, go for the all-nighter and start with the T1 versus Saigon Buffalo. So, Ovilee, your question was, what is the top 3 things that we're looking at coming in? So
especially for like day 1 and everything, yeah.
Right. So coming out the gate, like we're gonna get to see so on day 1, we're gonna get to see T1 play Group 1 game, and we're gonna get to see RNG play 1 game. I think that there's going to be a lot of people looking at both of those teams to see like what they're doing, how they're playing, and sort of what they're approaching. I don't think you're going to get to see either one of them really pull out anything special or do anything crazy, because T1 should slam Buffalo and Royal should slam Wildcats. Like, I don't think either one of them is going to be too pressured, but at the same time, RNG does a lot of happy games before. Like we've seen RNG have some wacky games. Not that they've always lost those games, but they definitely just play fast and loose. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit of wild stuff.
It's always fun to see meta, right, as well? Like, what kind of, like, because the most fun thing about a tournament is to, like, compare the beginning meta.
With how it shifts over time.
Yeah, exactly. What teams come in with, and then how it looks like in 1 week, because there is many times where the meta just completely shifts in 1 week, and the champs have been like highly prioritized in day 1. They won't even be touched, for example, in like day 10, right, of the tournament. So I kind of want to see if there's going to be Swain, if there's going to be the similar priors to the playoffs, and all these changes, to see how the teams are going to actually come up with strategies.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because I feel like that's one of the most important parts about those first couple of games, because especially in these group stages, like, as NA fans, we know all too well how 1 game can cost you getting out of a group or not. And losing those first couple of games or winning those first couple of games because you actually have the right meta read where somebody else just completely picks the wrong champs and it obviously shows. I actually think that's not talked about enough. Like that's a huge deal, is having the meta read right as quickly as possible so you can get just 1 or 2 extra wins out of it,
Yeah, I completely agree. Last point really quick. Perkz, how strong do we think T1 is looking right now? Their first game is up against Saigon Buffaloes. How do we think they're doing? I know a lot of people are wondering. We want to see our boy Faker come out and win another international event.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that T1 is the favorite walking into the tournament.
Oh yeah.
Given the fact they're 20-0, right? I mean, obviously don't count the games, but like they are like really, really good, and I think they have like a lot of games they're like even in the game, and then they still manage to like win. Like people maybe their conception is that they're stomping all the games and they're like I don't know, always in the lead, but they're actually more often than not in the lead. and the games are pretty close, and then just like, you know, the small team fight outplay, the better macro decision, one guy popping off. Just like they have so many people who stand out. Like literally all 5 of the players can stand out, right? Like you know that team is like crazy good, man. Faker is probably the least standing out player,
Yeah, man.
right? So yeah, and he's just there kind of to also like lead the team, right? So I'm very excited for T1. Obviously, seeing how they're gonna perform. That
So-
is a team to watch for me and to see what they're gonna come up with.
So I have a question for you, because like I'm really curious about your opinion on this as a player. So as a spectator, as a fan, as a commentator, I always have a lot of respect for teams that can do what you're talking about here, where it's like they don't always have to build this lead and snowball it. It just feels like a close game is where they're most comfortable, and you're almost expecting the close game to go their way every single time. Like, how much scarier is a team that you have to play against when you know they're that good at the close game, when you know it's not just oh, shut them down earlier, oh, just don't let them scale. Like, the fact that they can do everything like that, how much more difficult is it to prep for teams that are good at the close situations like that?
Oh, I mean, of course, yes. Like what you mentioned is like it is very scary. It is like similar. What I guess comes to my mind is like Down 2020. They've lost the spring, but they still had a pretty high win in the spring. They just lost to T1, right? And then in summer they had like, I don't remember the stats exactly, but I think it was like 90% win rate across like 40 games, probably more. And we were just preparing from them like after smashing Gen.G 3-0. And we just looked at their stats and stuff, and they had everything green. And they're like, oh,
Just
they can
all
snowball,
green,
they can
man.
do this, they can do this, they can play, they can play this, they can play this, they can flex this. I'm like, how do we beat this team? You know? like what do we do that we beat this team, right? When a team is like winning so much and winning in different styles and can win, yes, the closing situations, you're not really sure how to beat the team. The only thing you can do really is like just play your own best game and not try to like focus too much on what the enemy team does, and hopefully that your best game is enough to beat their game. Might not be their best game, right? But if you have a good game and they don't have a good game, then there's also this chance of beating them as well, right?
Yeah, so I guess
After all,
that's
they're humans.
That's the mentality you got to go into it, right? You can't just be thinking of them as the unbeatable robots. You have to remember that they can have an off game too.
Or just unplug them.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't think we can do
'cause they're robots?
literal
'Cause you
cheating.
unplug them?
No.
Literal. No, because you said they were robots, and robots. Listen, this is an excellent point to stop at, because apparently we went way over time.
Wait, did we?
So we're gonna go ahead and cut this off. But that's all the time that we have for it today. So thank you all for joining us for the very first episode of the clinic, aka the closest that Team Vitality's gotten to international competition all year. Tune in next week
why
for
are you
another
randomly
episode.
headshotting
What
him?
was that
What?
needed for? Wow.
What?
Wow.
He was giving us his
day one
insight as a pro
of the
player, talking about
2022
Prep versus Dom one.
Mid-season invitational
Wow.
on Tuesday, May 10th, starting at 1 a.m. Pacific
hate
time.
anime.
Perkz, anything to share?
I hate anime.
Listen, they're gonna have to
Hate it.
blur this out, but I just got Volume 3 of Fire in His Fingertips delivered to
Dude,
my front
no.
yard. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna watch right now. Go watch MSI. Like,
Don't
comment,
watch whatever
subscribe.
Ovilee's doing. Don't do that.